major telecommunications center located virtually in the heart of Cupertino, that champion of the human condition, Professor Video.
Kept going and going. Played with Roberta Flack when I was 16, you know, and just everything. I played with East Indian sitar players. I played with the drums in the park. I played with the African dancers. I played to paintings. I played to poets. I lived and breathed music. I even looked for my glasses. My friend, I've got a tale to tell, a tale of sorrow, of no tomorrow, for the life you think you lead so well. Lovely, you gently said, smile, Mercedes, while all around you children die. Step high over the bodies, pretend you didn't hear them cry. You own the world, poison the air, and filth the water. Someone else will clean it up, you say, and you've got no time to think about it, 'cause you're living just for yourselves today. You've severed your friendship with the earth and the air. Just for yourselves today, destroying the planet like you don't even care. Don't you know you're gonna have to pay? Who cried for the mountains? Who cries for the sea? Who cries for the mountains and for those who live amongst the trees? Never you. Listen, selfish person, there is still a chance for you. Time to make one right decision. Lives depend on what you do. Mother Earth woman ain't gonna stand for too much more. 4 out of 5 will not survive this mother's war. Mother Earth, she is one angry woman, ain't gonna stand for too much more. Path is set, you won't forget this mother's war. You severed your friendship with the earth, and the earth was living just for yourselves today, destroying the planet like you don't even care. Don't you know you're gonna have to pay? Just one last message for your heart. Stubborn ears, Mother Earth has something else to say. You're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay. 'Cause no one lives for just today. You're gonna have to give. 'Cause no one ever lives. No one lives for just today.
Let's go back and talk, and now that we have the camera on, about the bittersweet.
South African bittersweet, right
yeah.
on. Yes, well,
Why don't you talk about just how it evolved as a project?
yes. Well, summer of '82, I was whisked away to Bermuda
Mhm.
to replace a music person who could not do the project. It was a project for 8 weeks, training children to put together a musical.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what happened was my partner Diane Houston, who was the director and the playwright for the piece, had theater workshops and talked to the children, the people, actually 300 of them.
What was the age range?
Oh, 9 to 44. Exactly, the oldest
Get
person.
some old kids, huh?
Right on. Juniors, intermediate, and seniors, right? So anyway, she asked them about their political views, you know, South Africa, and how they felt about living in Bermuda with the British influence,
Mhm.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't come down until the 3rd week, so I
Mhm.
wasn't really in the beginning of that.
Mhm.
I just got, you know, the feedback and the end product, which was the show. I was busy writing music. But anyway, what came out of talking with the children and getting their feelings on the different political views was the piece called Tick, whose subtitles are Things That Make Me Tick, Things That Tick Me Off, Politics, Lunatics, and the tick before the blast. You know what that is. Nuclear war, right, of course. So with those themes, each group brought together things that would fit in that. For instance, this song, You're Gonna Have to Pay, that's an ecological song.
Mhm. Did you write it just for that production?
Well, luckily, I had written this song a long time ago. so I
Just
didn't
had it
have,
in your bag there.
yeah, pull them out, do it, you know, makes too much hard work. But, the seniors sang that. And before that, there was If I Grow Up. Now, the juniors sang that. And that's about, of course, if I grow up, I want the world to, you know, be better, fix it, because if you don't, I'm not going to have a world. So, and the other childhood memory. When I grow up, I want the smells in the air to be more than just a wish for the flowers once there. When I grow up, I want rivers clean and clear, sunlight shining on my skin, and peace worldwide. To be here when I grow up, I want my children to know that food sprouts up from the seeds that you sow. Radiation and pollution will be problems of the past. When I grow up, I want my planet to last. When I grow up, I want friends across the sea, and no more silly politics separating them from me. When I grow up, I want the world to understand that there's food enough for everyone if we just love the land. There's food for the animals and human beings like me. When I grow up, I want no poverty. When I grow up, I want rivers clean and clear, sunlight shining on my skin, and peace worldwide. To be here when I grow up, if I grow The other one that I am going to sing today is What Goes Around Comes Back Around.
Mhm.
Now, the intermediate sang that one. And you can get a pretty good idea what that means, right? You don't
And this
watch
is a
it.
reggae song.
Yeah, that's a reggae tune. So it started off with the children saying, "What is third world?"
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting to talk about what they think the third world is, and then they read the papers and they find out they're bombing here and they're bombing there, and no, Cuba's got the bomb, no, South Africa's got, you know, and they say, well, somebody's got to stop them, and they say, well, who? Us, and then, don't know what's happening in the world today. People don't care no more what they do or say. Babies are starving, folks living in poverty. But folks with money keep saying, don't bother me. It's written in every single holy book. It's time that everyone take a second look. What goes around comes back around and around and around and the battle cry, knowing oppression has found its time to die. Just how much craziness did you think we'll take? Thinking we're passive will be your last mistake. What goes around comes back around and around and around and round and round and round and round and around and around and around and around and round and round and round and round and round. Some people still thinking they are the master race. March up the planet and head for out of space. They shooting babies down in Soweto Street. East African babies ain't got enough to eat. It's written in every single holy book. It's time that everyone take a second look. What goes around comes back around and 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 round and round and round and round. Ow! And around and around and around and round and around and round and round and round and round. Ooh, round and around, round and around, and round and round. Comes around and comes back around and round. What goes around and comes back around and round. What goes around comes back around. What happened for the South African Bittersweet, as I really liked the power and the message in that musical, but I couldn't be 300 people.
Yeah.
I could try, but
Right.
a little draining, you know what I mean? So I decided, it came to me or through me, to take some pieces from the musical and incorporate it and make it a one-woman act. So I did that. I took a poem and I took a monologue, which was done with 5 people, a poem that was done with 5 people, and a pit full of musicians. And I just sat there and I was the musicians and the actors and did it. I have a sister in Soweto whom I have never seen. She doesn't know my name nor I hers. Our families have never met, but we are sisters. This I know, 'cause when she cries, I feel it here. And this pain here tells me my sister cries a lot. She cries when she is angry and when she is forced to be alone. When she is told that she is not the equal of whites her age or any age ever. They did not allow my sister to speak her language in her school. And her lovely singing language was all that my sister had. They took and made illegal all that my sister had. And instead, they gave her words that fell like chains around her neck, chains around my sister, so that she never would be free. And my sister was angry, and she took her anger to the streets. And they shot her, shot my sister, whom I have never seen. I have found a piece of paper. I didn't know I had a pen. I must have slipped it in my pocket when I ran from the school. Oh, the school, the classroom. I remember I was sitting beside Diamini. When the bullets cut him down, he was showing me this ink pen. When there was like an explosion and Diamini's head went down. dropped down heavy on his desk. His eyes were still open. And I looked at him and screamed. Everyone was screaming. They were shooting us inside the classroom. Even the little children. Blood and fear were everywhere. I dug beneath my desk and waited. I did not know what to do. Everywhere there was death. There was shooting. I thought about my mother. How many people do not even know what apartheid is?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now I do, and so
All right.
I want other people to know what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
And sometimes people cannot take you standing on a platform and going, apartheid and white South, they can't take it.
Uh-huh.
So I do it through theater.
Uh-huh.
And people can accept theater
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
easier than someone
Uh-huh. Yeah.
on a platform. The shooting stopped. And only screaming and moans of pain remained there in the classroom. 3 of my friends lay dead. And a girl, my cousin Zola, lay bleeding from wounds in her shoulder, neck, and head. I thought surely she would die too, but I had to bring her home. I owed it to my mother's sister to bring my cousin Zola home. I picked her up and made my way to the classroom door. As I stepped outside, a white man blocked my way. Where ya going, Black? Home, I answered. I'm taking my cousin Zola home. Put her down, he said. I looked into his eyes. I couldn't believe that God had made those eyes. I took a breath. I looked at Zola. No, I answered. Now get out of my way. I heard him cock his handgun. Drop her now, you dirty nigger. Once more, I looked into his eyes. I couldn't believe what instant that God had made those eyes. I saw him. He was afraid of me. Drop her now, you dirty nigger, or I'll blow off your stinking head. Shoot, then I screamed at him and pushed past him out the door. I cannot lie and tell you that I was not afraid. I was afraid, but I knew that if he shot me, he would live all his life a coward. But I would not die, so I would live. My spirit would live, and I would be free. He did not shoot me. Zola died before I got her home. People can accept theater
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
easier than someone
Uh-huh. Yeah.
on a platform, a
Yeah.
speaker's platform. That's why
Well, the piece that you did, I mean, it works as art, as on a human level that communicates directly to people about something.
and doesn't intimidate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, once when I was beginning trying this piece out, I took the piece to some very unsafe places. Yes, and I was really scared, because it's a predominantly white audience,
Mhm.
okay? And though they're not South African and they're American still,
Mhm.
I didn't know what buttons it was going to push,
Mhm.
so I'm
Yeah.
doing this
Yeah.
in dirty nigger and and all this stuff.
Mhm.
I'm going, remain an actress, do the theater, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, they have come up to me and thanked me
Mhm.
for the piece.
Mhm.
Tears in their eyes, telling me I felt the girl for her sister, and
Mhm.
so that made me feel better.
Yeah.
That if you're going to get a complex and get your hand smacked, it's because you are guilty.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not doing it
Uh-huh.
to bring out your guilt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel much better about taking it anywhere now.
Yeah.
My mother took one look at me and began packing my things, some clothes, shoes, food, and money. Her tears fell as she was packing, but she knew the white man. Many white men would be back looking for me. Even before they buried Zola, I was gone. I have been running now for 12 days. I don't know where I am. Once, I came near a village. But something, my instinct, told me not to venture in. Not long after, 2 truckloads of armed white men drove by. 2 black boys were in the rear. When I helped myself, I backed further into the bush and cried. And now I know I can never go home again. I cannot contact my mother or my family. Even to hear from me would be danger home, bring danger home to them. Now I know. That's why I write this letter and address it to no one. Because now in my life, there is no one left but me. I would get to school at 7 in the morning. I would get home from school 8 o'clock in the evening. Why? Because I would be playing this flute and learning who she was and what she had to say. So I believe, like my friends have told me, I was born with the flute in my mouth. As you can see, I'm wearing a flute around my neck. Can you get a close-up of that?
Well, what about now? When did you start doing this?
Humming?
Humming while you're playing.
Check it out. This is really phenomenal. When I was 16, okay, I started when I was 13, I guess. Oh my God. I told you about my flute teacher, my spirit teacher. We were in touch a long time ago, and I was busy doing all these kind of funny things, like, oh, let's see how many different ways we could, you know, like that. And then, you know, right? And then, let's see, what else can we do here? And so I would say, oh, let's see what would happen if I used a brass embouchure, you know. Right? And, you know, just doing all kind of silly things. And so I just, some kind of way, I guess maybe I got excited, or the spirit really, and I was, I don't know, because I never heard that before. Never. And then a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, heard what I did and then put a record on. I said, what's he doing? That's what I do. And I never heard anybody do it before. So when you get into your instrument and really it starts telling you what can be done. So a lot of times when I solo, I don't think beforehand what I'm going to do. I really let it come through me, and it's really very spiritual. Sometimes I might have an idea what I want to do, but this power and this spirit is very influential. And if the flute does not want me to play it, I cannot play it. I might say, but I want to. And she says, no. I said, but no. So I have to be obedient, you see. And sometimes I might be ready to stop. The flute says, I have more to say still. Yes, ma'am. So I can't really dominate her. She dominates it. Yes. So it's my truth, you know. And whenever I'm sad or... Whenever I'm sad or not feeling very well, I just play my flute, you know, even if I'm crying. And it's like meditating, so if I meditate and I feel real bad, I'm trying to center myself or something, I just breathe and play through the flute, and if I'm crying or whatever, it comes through the flute, and it helps to center, and it's a healing. So people are healed, I guess, through my flute sometimes when I'm playing, and I use it to heal myself, too. I was playing flute in New York,
Yeah.
in the subway,
Mm-hmm.
42nd Street, Times Square, mind you, during Christmas. Not easy.
Tough
Very.
audience.
Ooh, you know it. And I would get a new audience every 5 minutes because they keep coming, get on a train, more. So I had a new audience every 5 minutes, so I couldn't, slap off, right? I had to have my stuff on it right away. New audience, they don't know me, I've got to be on it. And I'm telling you, people would come up to me and say, beautiful. Thank you so much. I mean, I might have saved a kid from getting a beating because, no, really, they come up to me and they touch me and kiss me and give me presents. And the other side of the subway would say, hey, when you coming over to our side? So, oh. So they really got to like it. And lots of people would stop and be afraid, and try to keep walking. And then back over to the pole and just sit and listen and miss 2 or 3 or 4 trains listening to, because I could see their feet. All I could see was feet because I was sitting this low, and I could see nothing but feet, and it was beautiful. I never ever before seen the magic of the flute happen. And you would see people, New York fast,
Right.
and they would stop, they'd back off, and oh my God, the crowds were so big, and like everybody would be proud of me and say, oh, she's classically trained and this and that, and it was just beautiful to see. What I usually do is hum the same note in the same register, like Now, if I hum higher, an octave, you see, or play that note and hum lower, you see. So it's so many variations, so variety you can
Gives
do.
that resonance. Yeah.
So there, I hold the note and hum. So, or like you heard me doing the harmony. In unison. That I can't think that fast. I don't know what I'm going to do, but some kind of way my voice is in tune with a part of me that's not my brain. It's hooked into the flute. There's much you could do with it. Very polyrhythmic, polyharmonic things, very complex things I'm beginning to work on now. For instance, see if you recognize this.
Christmas music.
God rest ye merry gentlemen. Now that's really difficult because I'm humming da 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 da, and the flute is going in opposite direction. They're doing this. So sometimes if I go up, if you're going up in humming, you want to go down on the flute. In other words, it's easy. Either you're going in the same direction or you're going in different directions. But this, I'm holding maybe 2 notes in the hum and then move in the opposite direction. So it's difficult, but can be done. I have definitely told a few of the patrons off in the club, through my flute. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh. I'm
People are getting too rowdy.
hecklers. Oh yes. I'm playing. Then I'm hearing where it's coming from, and then I focus in on them. And then now where was I?
Does it work?
Yes! If I was giving that to you, wouldn't you either leave, shut up, or keep make a fool of yourself?
Well, how did you get in this band with Cespedes?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's when I came out here from East Coast and did a gig with Mary Watkins at the Great American Music Hall. And,
We had her on.
Yeah, I heard, yeah. And the manager for Mary is also Cespedes' manager, and they were looking for a flute player, and they heard me play for Mary, and they said, we want her. She has got pizzazz, energy, wow, exciting. So they grabbed me up and said, hey, check it out.
Mamá, yo quiero saber de dónde son los cantantes. Bom, 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 que los encuentro galantes y los que no conoces. que me la quiero aprender. Oye, mamá, yo quiero saber de dónde son los cantantes, que los encuentro galantes y los quiero conocer. Con su trova fascinante que me la quiero aprender. ¿Y dónde serán? Serán de La Habana, serán de Santiago y de la Soberana. Ahí son de la loma, cantan el llano, sí señor. Como no, mamá, yo son de la loma, mamá, yo cantan el llano. Mamá, yo son de la loma, mamá, yo cantan. Abuela, dice mamá, que le mandes 4 cocos, que si le parece poco, que le mande 4 más. Dice que no viene acá, porque le da mucha pena. Hay que le mande una docena, para un dulce que va a hacer, que le mande 16, para celebrar Nochebuena. Oye, son de la loma, cantan el gallo. Son de la loma, mamá, yo cantan el gallo.
Coloría floreciente que guarda el río de Yara. Coloría floreciente que guarda el río de Yara. Donde es fresca y clara se desliza la corriente. Donde brilla el sol al bien se demuestra una fiel.
Vamos,
La selva, el monte y el prado iban guajiro montado sobre un leguazo.
Oye, son de la loma, cantan el gallo. Son de la loma, mamá, yo cantan el gallo. Ahora, habla la tira. Ay, gózalo. Son de la loma, cantan el llano. Son de la loma, mamá, yo cantan el llano. El bárbaro.
Roberto Razón.
the crowds respond really well when you're playing?
Yeah, I'm telling you. And we take the bass player and myself. We take real long solos, and I think the audience works harder than we do when they're dancing. You know, boy, I think the shortest song we ever play on the dance floor is maybe 8 to 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The longest song on the dance floor is 20 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Can you imagine, you know?
Well, there's a lot
dancing-
of freedom when you're, I mean, if you're in a solo and you're really, the group just, you know, like, it's like a jazz player, they just go chorus after chorus, or...
No, well, not really. I particularly am not accustomed to playing the very strict charanging licks, but I'm learning more the style of it, so I can incorporate that into my own personal style, which is jazzy and funky and classical.
Yeah.
Right. So my influence is classical jazz funk. So I'm putting a little classical jazz funk in here with the charanging licks, and we're coming up with Latita Teresa style. Listen, my friend, I've got a tale to tell, a tale of sorrow, of no tomorrow, for the life you think you lead so well. Love me, you just say, smile, Mercedes.